Chapter 7. It was a fair morning. Clouds above the risen sun were deep purple and pink, bold and bright with glow. Maya stood with Adam at the top of one of the forested peaks. The foothills rose all around them, and gray-brown mountains in the distance stood beyond those, topped with snow. They could see quite far from this peak. A river meandered into the mountains, weaving in and out of the hills. They could see high cascades and meadows, families of trees reigning over different patches of land. Zedefungo trotted up the hill to meet them. He was speaking to a mountain lion in his own coyote language below the tree line. "Sorry, an old friend, the finest mountain lion in all the land," said Zedefungo. "Okay, let's get started. Lesson 1. General Dynamics. I don't know. I've never had to teach novice humans how to do this." He tossed his board down on the air and hopped on. "There's only one way to do this, folks," said Zedefungo gently. "Follow me!" He dropped in over the hill and was gone. Maya and Adam shot each other a split-second glance of caught off guard. They sprinted to the slope and dropped and hopped on their boards mid-run. They followed Zedefungo through the trees. This was not like anything they had ever done before. The speed, the reflexes, the forces. They bombed down mountains, kicking up leaves and brush. Zedefungo used whole hills as banks for his turns, all while weaving and dodging trees. He went sideways, riding walls of rock. He backflipped off-axis over cliffs and gapped over massive rivers. Adam and Maya could barely keep up. Zedefungo stopped at the top of a hill. "Good," he said. "Stay close to the ground. You gotta skim the ground when you ride. Let the board feel the earth." He hopped over the edge and continued. They carved around corners and tunneled through caves. Zedefungo's riding was so fluent. He was in perfect harmony with his surroundings. He cartwheeled through slingshot-shaped trees. Maya went sideways. She bent around trees and landed spins when she wanted. She was getting the hang of it, and Adam was too. He busted occasional flip tricks and leapt off his board once, letting it ride through a giant log, running, landing on it on the other side. They followed Zedefungo as he boarded down the rapids of a river. Down they rode, following its turns and slashing torrents all the way. They launched off a waterfall with multiple shelves, bouncing, carving down. Adam and Maya smiled at each other, bubbling, bursting with excitement. They crossed a high open plain of tall grass and long hills in waves. Maya let down her hand to feel the grass as it ran through her fingers. They wound down with wide, slow turns and came together on the mountain. The teachings of Zedefungo continued like this for several days. Maya and Adam were taken on increasingly difficult terrain. They traveled far and wide through different environments, new zones. It came time for Zedefungo to teach them how to fight. "Fight?" said Adam. "Who do we have to fight?" "There are times when to be in harmony with your surroundings means rising to meet dark forces. Forces that seek to disrupt flow and disturb harmony," said Zedefungo. "Therefore, it's best to elude these things, but if you must fight, I will show you how to fight within the flow." Zedefungo fashioned wooden dummies and distributed them on the course. He demonstrated how to use your board and your momentum as an attack. He spun and came down with force with the tip of his board to take out the dummy. He shifted his back foot out to hit one dummy on the right, then brought that back foot around behind him to hit a dummy on the left, immediately following. Maya and Adam did the same. Zetafungo shoved his board out with his back foot like a projectile. Then, drawing it back like he did in the cave, he proceeded to repeat this, destroying 3 dummies in a row. This they could not reenact. That one takes practice, Zetafungo said. Follow me. They crossed an alpine meadow full of light purple, light blue, white, and bright yellow flowers. They made wide, slow, sweeping turns and crossed paths. They entered a coniferous forest and wove through the massive sequoias on all sides. It was shaded and silent, insulated by the firs, with some sun shining through the trees. It was evening in the tangerine light and the tangerine tree trunks. They came to a clearing in the trees, save for one massive, grand, immense trunk in the center of the space. The great tree, Zetafungo said. One of a select few among the masses. It is called Hyperion. He ran his hand over the bark, which was on such a large scale that its ripples were the size of Maya standing there. The pine cones that lay scattered were the size of raccoons. Come with me, Zetafungo said. He began ascending the tree on his board in an upward spiral. Facing the tree, hugging the tree, Maya and Adam ascended behind him until they reached a gigantic lower limb of the towering pine. There they sat with Zetafungo as he looked out over the mountains with the setting sun on the dramatic landscape. You are progressing with beautiful stride, he said. What are we doing, Zetafungo? What are we training for? Maya asked him. I really can't say I know, but I sense that it is best to prepare you in all that I can, Zetafungo said, with his eyes cast down and to the side. A great darkness has fallen over the earth like black snow. Only few lights like you and I remain in the fading world. It wasn't always like this, all of time. At one point, there wasn't even time. Something happened. A malevolent force has stained the waters. Darkness infects us, crawls among the masses, through its hosts, using beings as its vehicle and leaving pain and death in its wake. What are we gonna do? Asked Maya. We're just kids. The board will ride for no human but you and Adam. You have something in you. I can see it, Zetafungo said. Maya and Adam felt the weight of his words. They almost dissolved into the landscape, looking out at the warm red-purple light pouring over the scene. Let's get some rest. You have trained hard and with honor, with heart, said Zetafungo. They returned to the cave in the light of the stars.